Greetings. This is Audri Scott Williams coming to you from the grandmothers of the Four Directions as their wisdom continues to flow into what we know this walk to be, and not only in the physical but in a multidimensional aspect, the spiritual soul level aspect of what this walk is about. The last time I talked to you about the teachings of the grandmothers, I talked about what we see around us being projected as sort of the death toll, the end of the world, and through the chaos and all, and really that it was really birthing the pains of birth, giving birth to new life, and that we had to move through the chaos to get to the birthing point. So today I wanted to talk about the birthing point. Many people ask me, having written Now Time Prophecies, where in that book a lot of what's happening today was mentioned back in 1998. And they ask me, well, what prophecies are coming forward now? What are the grandmothers saying now? The grandmothers are saying it's time for us to put that to bed. That their whole point of prophesying wasn't so much that we would get caught in the prophecy. It was to warn us so that we can begin to prepare ourselves for the morning after, if you will. That chaos is inevitable when you lead the world to such a state that it is now, when those with power have turned that power not towards humanity and Mother Earth in compassion and selfless love, but rather to fill their own pockets with greed. And that permeates out through the world and creates this culture of having to own it all, having to possess it all, and enough is never enough, and unfortunately sending that consciousness throughout humanity. What ends up happening then is there are many people who never have enough, not because they don't have access to the resources, but because the whole consciousness is built upon a major part of the population never having enough, so that they're always available to serve. And so we also have situations where we take from Mother Earth, not because we're in relationship with Mother Earth, but rather because we feel that the earth is there to serve us. So then the chaos becomes inevitable, because Mother Earth will always right herself. And I want you to hear what I'm saying now. Mother Earth, the Divine Mother, will always bring wholeness and harmony to the world. Why? Because that's who she is. She is the ultimate server. She places her life before us, that we have everything that we need. And then we put this notion out there that we have unlimited demand and a limited amount of supply. Well, that's not Mother Earth. If you think about it, in all of our greed and all of the ways that we tend to want to pull everything from her, she still provides. So chaos is inevitable when we want to take from the I am position, the small I am, meaning our mind, the mind of man, to build a world without a connection to the capital I am, or the God presence. And the grandmothers refer to that in Now Time Prophecy as S-O-N, sun consciousness without S-U-N consciousness, the S-U-N being the light source of the divine, of God, Him, herself. So now here we are in a position where we're seeing all these things that have been foretold. If we don't watch the signs, these things are going to happen. And then we want to run and hide. No, this isn't a time to run and hide. This is a time to go get everything you have that's within you. It's a time to remember who you are, whose you are, what you are a part of. To remember your relationship with all things, so that you don't look at this person as that person, Mother Earth as some separate entity, the water as some separate entity. Remember who you are, and that is remember, pulling all the members together as one, because that's where they reside, in our heart. We are Mother Earth. We are each other. There is no someone else. There is no other. When we remember that simple thing, we'll begin to treat life differently. We'll treat each other differently. Our relationship with Mother Earth will change. We won't see her as there to serve us, but there as an expression of us. And therefore, what we see in the world is who we are inside. So in this time of birthing, this period of birthing, out of the chaos into an evolved humanity, this is the time of reconnecting the membranes of the umbilical relationship we have with our Earth Mother, with the universe, with divine substance, with our higher selves, with God, Goddess, by any name you call that force. This is a time of reconnecting, remembering, and acting upon the highest of who we are to affect the world. Not from a my, me place, but from a this is our world. You are me, I am you, and how can I make this world better? Because if you're suffering, I'm suffering. If I'm suffering, you're suffering. None of us are free until all of us are free. None of us are empowered until all of us are empowered. None of us have a home unless all of us have a home. So think about these things. Embody the highest of who you are. Do the work. Do the work. There are many, many examples of how we can get to our own center, our own space of remembrance. Find your way into that. Follow what calls you. Have courage. And that's what I think is one of the most important things right now. Once you begin the process of remembrance, it's having the courage to go the distance. Because our societies and our cultures will want to lock you into a box that may not fit what it is you're being given, what it is you're seeing. Have the courage to go the distance. The world doesn't need us now sitting back in fear. The world needs us now stepping out in love, stepping out in compassion, stepping out to serve, stepping out to create an evolved humanity, a higher consciousness that radiates around this world and takes us to a higher place. And you know what? As more and more of us begin this process, tapping into that divine feminine, slipping from the head to the heart, as more and more of us begin to do that, the world will shift almost overnight. And when I say that, what I'm saying is it will appear to be overnight, but it's happening now. The foundation is being built. It's being built upon every step that we're taking, upon every word of love that we utter, upon every ceremony that's being conducted all around the world to bring us back into wholeness and into balance. That's the work that's being done. So one day, all of a sudden, it's going to look as though there's been this major shift. And that's the birth. That's when the baby is being born. That's when we're stepping in to our new aspect of who we are. And guess what? It's not really new at all. It's who we are. It's who we were born to be. It's who we've forgotten that we are. And so at this time right now, pause. Think, not with your head, but with your heart. What does that mean? It means drop from thinking into feeling. Seeing from the heart, seeing what you feel, manifesting from that space. That's our true hope, our true possibility. And not only is it a possibility, it's the inevitable core of who we are becoming as we are birthing ourselves into an evolved state of being where we are free, where we are free. We are free from all the limitations that keep us locked in fear, that keep us locked in separation, that keep us locked in not being good enough, locked in oppression and racism. This is our moment. Let's work together to create a future for our children, our grandchildren, and all of our descendants for many generations to come. Ashe, Aho, Amen.